Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new webinar on the Deep Cycle programs for healing. I'm Jan Poleszynski. I am the CEO of a company called Unovita AS in Norway. We work, of course, with a lot of electromedical devices, other health supplements, food, and so forth. I also run clinic for integrated medicine in a small town outside the capital of Oslo, called Moss. I've been working with timer frequency, which is the mother or father, if you like, of Healy since the start. Actually, I worked with it before it was existing, using another different frequency system called energetic core, which was a combination of informational medicine and energy medicine. And the reason I'm doing all of this, and the reason I love electromagnetism, it comes from I was a small boy, where I actually were always looking to understand the bigger picture of our reality. What is everything around us? Where are we coming from? What is the universe? Where are we going? Why are we here? And all these questions, they haunted me all my life. And they're still with me, so development never stops for anybody. And after many years of, let's say, research studies, I was studying parapsychology and trying to look into physics and religion. I read tons of alternative books, and I never got a real good answer to what is all these things, which is not purely physical. I didn't understand that the bodies should be a chemical machine, and we should have a kind of a computer here, and the rest was just a robot. And it turned out it wasn't right. So it was until I was past 40, I started to get some real answers to what is going on around us and how does the physical universe work. And the physical universe, meaning what we can see and what we can touch, and anything you know of as physical has electromagnetic radiation. So I will refer that for you to the presentations done prior about electromagnetism and the secrets of electromagnetism and light. So this is the foundation webinar you should always see before you start looking at the Deep Cycle webinars or future webinars. So anyway, I wish you welcome to this webinar on Deep Cycle, where I will explain the basis of big Deep Cycle programs, why I made them, how they work, how you can use them, and much more. And then eventually, there will be coming webinars where there will be much more user interaction, so you can ask all your questions and we can be more targeted to each one of you, so you can more easily understand how to use it. But this will give you some sort of a theoretical overview. Okay, let's go then. Hello, welcome to this presentation and webinar on the Deep Cycle programs I've developed for the Healy system, the Healy microcurrent units. And actually, the Deep Cycle was originally developed for time mirror, which is the mother and father of Healy, time mirror frequency, and for therapists who didn't really know that well and had the experience I and Nuno and a couple of others had with the frequencies for many years in our clinics. So the Deep Cycle, the name, is obviously referring to 2 points. One, we are working deeply on multiple levels in the body. We're working on the electric levels, of course, because all physical matter is electric and all control systems of the body are electric. But it turns out also that emotions are stored electrically, and a lot of functions in the body can be improved, supported, and it will help you balance your whole being. So the target for the deep cycle programs is to help you achieve a good balance of all in your body, mind. And this is achieved once your body is in harmony on the electromagnetic level. Because if there is harmony on the electromagnetic level, there's also harmony on the emotional level. So we talk about cycles and the deep cycles. And of course, all of nature is full of cycles, and it's a very good thing to know about some of them. One of the cycles we have from the good old Chinese medicine perspective, and it turns out it's a good precise cycle explaining a little bit about the work of the body and organs during the day in the 24-hour cycle. Here, as you see, it's an AM or a PM type of cycle, American cycle, doesn't matter. But you can see, for example, in the afternoon, you can see 5 p.m., the kidneys are very active, and the bladder and kidneys are connected. So I often recommend, if there's nothing special, that running the kidney program, kidney all, for male or female, it's a good time to do it during this period to support the daily cycle of your body. Likewise, you can do the lungs and the large intestines very early in the morning. The lungs has a connecting point in the front of your throat, just below here, and the large intestine, and the lungs has a connecting point on the bulb in your back. So we can call that bioterminals, or the main terminals, main connection points of the electric cabling for the lungs and the large intestine. So actually, when you treat the lungs, you also automatically treat the other part of that center, which is in front, the large intestine. And this obviously goes in cables, let's say, down to the stomach and down to the lungs. So if you have energy and enough voltage in your lung terminal, then it's not likely that the digestive system, or let's say the large intestine, has low voltage. That means if the voltage is normal, as you learned in the previous presentation, you have a health problem. But if the voltage is normal, you most likely have no health problem. Anyway, we can do this with most of the programs, and we can get back to this point where you can, in normal days, you can very well treat the different areas and use the different programs at different times of day to have the best effect and to be in sync in the natural cycle of the body during the day. We also have the moon cycles, and I know Nuno also speaks about this recently. And of course, we are influenced by the moon, like the waters of our seas, the waters in our body is greatly influenced by the gravity of the moon. We're influenced by the change of light, which is also frequency coming in through the atmosphere. And the different phases of the moon has different type of moods and experiences. So this is another way the deep cycle is integrated in the natural cycles around us, so you can support that. So for example, in the full moon, it's very often a time where people can think new thoughts, be inspired, being a little bit, let's say, outside the standard frame of your life. And that's a good time to run the Back to the Root programs. It has had several names, so it still has several names. The original thing was Healing is Causes, but we'll look to it. For example, when the moon is rising, the activity of your body is rising. So you're getting close to the full moon. This can be a good period to run pure energy, simply, again, to support the cycles of nature around you. And we have many of these cycles. And, the flowers, the vegetables, the seeds, everything starts to grow or to develop from the seed being put in the soil naturally or by us. And we have a good soil, meaning good terrain, as we also need to have in the body. And we have sunlight and water, which is of course critical for us all life on Earth. And it starts to develop, and if the terrain is good, and that means also the electric properties of the earth and the ground, the plants will grow and look beautiful. But after some time, these plants will get old, and it's time to populate. So it makes new seeds and go to the ground, and there we are in the natural cycles of life and death. So that's also a natural cycle. And we can, of course, refer this to our own cycles, even our life. So you can use different type of programs during different type of ages. So typically in very active ages where your body is very engaged in things, you often need things like breath of life, which is mainly for the electric systems of the lungs and anything related, also in emotions, and kidney oil and clean oil and so forth. Once you are getting into the, let's say, more calm period of your life, you maybe will seek more programs as healing of causes or back to the roots, pure calm, and this type of programs to support your development. Another thing is to consider here is that we have the natural cycles of the body. Cells die every second. We make thousands and thousands of new cells every second. So we have second cycles. And in these cycles, it's a good idea to think, how can I support these cycles? Well, often in spring, the body has accumulated toxins during the winter because of different activity, different temperature, different food. So it's a good idea to do the detoxification. This being the clean oil program. So that's typical. You do more clean oil in the spring. And similar after the summer. So you prepare yourself for the different cycles of nature on a short, long, and longer term. And if you do this, you will see that deep cycles are amazing. From my point of view, you don't need much other microcurrent frequency programs because a deep cycle covers it all. So sometimes I make one program for a person who's been doing the deep cycle and using all the programs correctly for a longer period of time. And we see that there are some type of frequencies, some types of organ systems that always need a bit support. And then I can put together one program to make it easier for them to run. But besides of this, I think you will experience that if you use the deep cycle correctly, you drink enough good water, hopefully with hydrogen, which is clean water, proper food, and get sunlight, contact with nature, you don't need much more for your electromagnetic needs. And here you see, of course, we can relate to this. We do the same thing. So, of course, when a mother is going to be pregnant, before she's pregnant, good idea to do the detoxification and strengthening of the system and so forth. And so there's a lot of cycles we can use. And here you see the life cycle I mentioned. And of course, microcurrent, in the term we use it on Healy, in the way we use it on Healy, is totally safe for everybody. But I have this, let's say, rule for myself that if I treat somebody or if I'm going to put some apparatus on somebody, I want them to be able to tell me if they like it or not. So I don't do it unless the children are old enough to tell me if they like it and we can communicate. If you want to treat your children, You can do that safely, even if there are babies. But what you can do is that you treat yourself and you have your babies in their arms. And this way, the frequencies and the harmonic vibrations coming out, because there will always be a magnetic pulsed field from electric frequency current, as I told you in the previous webinar, you will also treat your child with the same frequency, but very, very softly. I've seen this work wonderfully, and help children and the whole family. It's actually possible to take 2 or 3 adults, let's say the mother and the father, and they hold the electron in each hand, and they hold each other in the hand, and they have the children in the lap. And then they treat themselves and the whole family. Yeah, this is the cell cycle, and of course, there is a lot of things going on. So, one of the reasons we recommend to have breaks between programs is to be able to let the body finish its work. You're giving an impulse, and some frequency reach all the way into the cell, typically a higher frequency. The lower frequency are absorbed by water and going through the water, and the water vibrates and informs the body. So sometimes you can feel like the body has a lot of work to do, and it has got a lot of impulses. You have been using the correct or the optimal frequency for your cycle, your state, your day, and the body needs time to do the work. So you just take a few days off if you feel that's necessary. If not, you can continue every day. So we talked about this earlier. One of the big things to take care of is to make sure you have a good foundation in the body. A good foundation in the body and a good terrain is depending on the voltage. And that maybe sounds strange to many, but voltage is electric potential. It's the plus and minus who wants to get to connect. It's the buildup of electrons and energy want to go from plus to minus. This also we can measure in water, and we can measure in different ways. One of them is called pH, or the potential hydrogen, or the acid-alkaline balance. So when you are in weak alkaline mode, which is the correct pH for, or let's say around 7.4 for the blood and intracellular activity, the voltage, the electric potentials in the water is also correct. And when the electric potential is correct, all the cells can work correctly. It can spit out toxins, take out nutrients, build new cells. And if you do that, if you build cells and repair cells as quickly as they come and go, the organs and the body will be healthy. So we have made 12 programs for your electric body, which is the control system of your body. Yeah, when I talk about deep, just 2 words about that. I say that there are several frequencies and several databases in the system, which are, let's say, obvious frequencies supporting kidney functions or kidney electric pathways and so forth. But we also have frequencies that touches deeper parts of you. And the deep cycle is, for what I know, the most powerful cycle available for healing. And some people like to ask me if they should always run a different cycle before. This is not necessary unless they want it. They can, if they are very sensitive, they can start with the program sensitive. But deep cycle has included mostly of what you will see, for example, in the gold cycle, a natural cycle from Nunanina, but we have added more frequencies working on deeper levels. There's also now in the deep cycle harmonics, the special universal harmonic frequency list, which is good for everybody, which works on the foundation of your body, your emotion, your connection with nature. So this is the reason for calling it deep. The deep cycle history obviously started a long time ago, because working with frequency was not something new. Tesla did it, Lakowski did it, Rife did it, many people did it. Around 1930, it was thousands and thousands of practitioners using frequencies, devices. However, they were forbidden because there was the pharmaceutical industry who wanted to own the medical market. They wanted to own the patients. And this system is still dominating our health industry today. However, we are back to being legal. We have legal devices like Healy, who has medical approval and are totally safe. And it's popping up everywhere now. And research on electromagnetism and health is really, really exciting these days. And you will see that frequency in different forms, electromagnetic devices in different forms, which are also light devices, light therapies, and so forth, will dominate the next generation medicine. We are early, and you're lucky to be a part of it. And that's the reason you feel so often that you get good results from using the Healy with the deep cycles. It's because we are working on the correct level of the body. And this will, of course, improve. So from the earlier times, the end of 1800s, there was a development. There were frequency lists developed by different people. Rife had his frequencies, and all these frequencies were tested and accumulated by thousands and thousands of practitioners, including me. And some of these databases of these frequencies are in time-aware frequency and can be exported to Healy. Among them, the gold frequencies from Nuno, Rife frequencies, and other. And in addition, we have the special frequency list where I have tested frequencies for the, let's say, natural synchronization with the nature around us and our body and cells. So we have now a modern, updated frequency database we can use in Healy. And all of this was because somebody invented and understood that the body is electric, can be easily influenced and stimulated by electric impulses. So when I talk about harmonics, you can see the different waves here. They have different frequency, going quicker or slower. And harmonics in frequency is just as the same in harmonics in music. So let's say you hear an octave, which is ba, 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 ba. This is actually the same foundation frequency, but harmonics. We have these harmonics around us in nature, from the Schumann resonance around Earth, and in my special universal frequency list, which is active in most of the deep cycle programs, we have harmonic of foundation frequencies of nature and body. And this means, let's say, the harmonics of Schumann, 7.83 hertz. This frequency, when it comes in a pulsed field, we know it influences our hormone system, the inner clock, and it also helps synchronize the brainwaves. So we depend on it. So when astronauts go out in space, they bring with them harmonic frequency generators, include with Schumann-based resonance, to make the body understand that it's still in a natural environment and can work in natural ways. So that's how important they are. And when you see the higher harmonics, the higher, let's say, tone, the benefits of them are that when you reach the area of 10,000 or 15,000 hertz, or that means 10,000, 15,000 vibrations per second, the frequencies no longer only move through water. It can move through bone, can move through the cell membrane, and so on. So this means that you can get the effects of this basic frequencies, a very low frequency, transfer, the informational transfer, all the way into the cells. So that's a smart way of doing it, I think. All right, so what's new in deep cycle harmonics? Of course, deep cycle harmonics was developed and released in 2021. And so it was 7 years development from Deep Cycle 1, but we keep a lot of the basics from Deep Cycle 1 because Deep Cycle 1 was an amazing, great program series, and still is. Some people use it, and there's no reason to stop using a good program. It will always be good. But Deep Cycle H is more mature, has some new frequencies from the databases which were updated, some fixes, small fixes where the programs did not exactly what I wanted, and of course we added the incredible universal harmonic frequency list. And also the Deep Cycle harmonics were made specifically for Healy, not for timer. And that means, for example, the Healy has an output of 0.1 to 999,000 hertz. This is the range of the Healy, and it can make square waves, not sine waves, not sawtooth. It makes square waves, and it has this range. The old timer system could make different type of waves and have a broader spectrum of frequency, higher spectrum, which is not needed in Healy. So, and therefore, I wanted to push the Healy to its technical limits. And all of the programs, they use what is possible to do for Healy, and I give the Healy, let's say, command to produce some frequencies in so-called real time, which are more random, because it's asking the Healy to do a specific range of frequencies, which is it's outside of the general specification, but Healy still managed to do it. So it means that, let's say there is a small part of mood, there's a small part of randomness that is included in every startup, just for a short period of time, to be able to catch up specifics, which is new today, which is your mode today. It's to help sync with what's going on with you on a very, very profound level. Okay, so let's look at the frequencies. I'll just go, or I mean the programs. Let's just look at the programs overall. So we start on the right with the sensitive program. I often recommend that anybody who are not used to frequency, who has not used the Healy, other frequency program with direct currents in the hands or electrodes on the body, they start with the sensitive. So they will, in this way, you will reduce the risk for some heavy detox reaction or whatever reaction you might have. Some people are electrosensitive, so and then it's very good to start with the sensitive, use it sometimes and get acquainted with the frequencies. And when you no longer feel any symptoms or any reactions, remember, drink a lot of pure water, or not too much, but enough pure water during these treatments and before and after. You can go on to the next programs. And of course, in the spring, after your detoxification period, a lot of us have some issues with pollen or other flowering plants, and we are getting allergic. So the sensitive is perfect for allergies, and also even emotional sensitives and chemical sensitivities. So this program can be used for anybody who feels sensitive, who feels vulnerable, and is sensitive to electricity, chemicals, pollens, or other. And then the next level is normally to start with the kidneys and the breath of life. And the reason for this is that we need to bring up the voltage and the potential of the body. We need to charge the battery. And we need to help the body get rid of the toxins, get rid of the plus elements, which are toxins are normally always plus, and that's why we call them oxidative, because they can steal electrons from minus molecules, from charged molecules, from good charged water, from antioxidants. So when you run the kidneys and the breath of life, some need to do the kidneys quite a lot, some need to do breath of life a lot. Most of us need both in periods. You support what is called also the pH buffer system. So that means to regulate the pH, meaning regulate the voltage of the body. So when you run the kidney and lungs for sufficient time, depending on the person and how much you are in or out of balance, you will help the body get rid of toxins, help the body to adjust the voltage and pH of the body, and you have a foundation for anything else. So the kidney programs, besides doing this very important function, of course, strengthens the kidney system and the kidney electric system. And just so you are not getting too occupied with the organ itself, the kidney system contains a lot of wiring, and it's going down to your feet, just below the, in the middle of your foot, and going all the way up the leg, through the bladder, through the kidneys, through the bladder, going up through the body, coming up through, and passing through the front teeth. So if you have a broken front teeth, you might have a kidney function which is not optimal, because when there's a broken teeth or a problem with the tooth in that electric pathway, the body needs to use electric current to help stimulate the body to repair. So sometimes you need to pull the teeth or fix your teeth to have a good function in the body. But of course, the kidney of female supports the kidney and everything below it. That means the bladder, the uterus, the vagina, and so forth on females. And on males, obviously, we have different organs. We have the prostate, testicles, and so forth. So these programs will support anything related to this. And of course, in the kidneys, we also the kidney area and the kidney circuit, we store emotions. I will get back to that part with emotions. But one of the emotions are stress and the sexual abuse, anxiety, and so forth. It influences the kidneys very much. The clean all is the detoxifying program. I mean, the kidneys help detoxify, and it's very important. But the clean all kind of stimulates all the detoxification organs, stimulates the liver, and helps you clean up. And this normally comes after a period of stabilizing the lung and kidney function. And we get more into this, but kidney oil is not the first program you do. You need to ensure that the kidneys are working well and the lungs are working well. And the next thing in the foundation, building your terrain, building your physical health and balance, is, of course, to ensure that your digestive system is working well. My experience from the clinic is that close to 70% of everybody has some digestive issues. And if you have digestive issues, it can be caused by many things: wrong food, wrong water, wrong drinks, pathogens, parasites, whatever. But mostly it's influenced by stress. So when the body is stressed, you do not digest food properly and do not detoxify properly. So these foundation programs are kidney, breath of life, lung, digest all, clean all. And this is normally a period where you prepare your foundation, you get yourself in balance, and then comes other programs, which we'll go into. The free flow is very good for circulation, for pain. It also has special frequencies for the heart circuit. Pure calm is what the name says. It helps the body find peace, help your emotions find peace. Pure energy is built for people who is energy deficient, mainly. Everybody can use it. Everybody needs more energy from time to time. And renewal, or the original name was natural healing, has a lot of frequencies to support balanced flora. It has frequencies to repair tissue and cells. It has frequencies to balance the terrain. So what type of bacteria and virus and other microlife, which is a big part of us, is there, should be balanced, and we try to help combat pathogens which thrives in a bad terrain. And then we have the wonderful program originally called Healing of Causes, Go to the Roots, which mainly works on your emotional, intellectual, mental level. And that is where we often find the causes for being stuck in stress, causes for being stuck in specific thought patterns, specific emotional patterns. And it's very good to run these programs from time to time, and especially when the foundation is in the body is good. When the balance in the body is good, you feel okay. You want to take the next step. Let's call it spiritual development. What you want to develop, you want to be able to harmonize yourself. So it's a very good thing to give your emotions work. And remember, anything I say here, it's not a rule. It's not something you have to do it this way. There's always the rule of intuition. So if you feel you need a specific program at a specific time, trust it, use it. There is no harm done. I'm just telling you the normal cycles, or that's the usual cycles, and most of us, we need much of the same things. Then we have the program Energy Work, which was developed for chronic fatigue, or ME, as we say in Norway. It's pretty much the same as the Pure Energy program, but it's longer, more powerful. This program you don't run before you have been using the Healy and Deep Cycle program for a couple of months. And if you are struggling with the energy and you cannot build it up easily, you can run long periods with energy work. And I've seen this specifically for chronic fatigue because many things for them are upset for most people. Most people are stressed and have too much sympathetic activity, being, let's say, the body is too alert, the blood pressure is getting too high, and similar things. But the chronic fatigue people, they normally have too much parasympathetic activity. That's mean kind of body is always in rest mode. And then you don't have the energy and stimuli from the sympathetic nerve system to do work, to be able to reproduce as quickly as possible on the cellular level, so they feel energy deficient. So I've seen people using energy work program many hours every day for a period of time. Of course, you need breaks in the weekends. And even from severe chronic fatigue, people feel a gain of energy and a better function. Because without energy, without power in the battery, life is not fun. So that's a basic overview of this program. So we're coming to the sensitive shortly. Environment is my soul soil, yes, but let's say sensitive is to support the soft parts of you, so support the parts of you who is not automatically absorbing to the environment and maybe has some issues with chemicals, electricity, radiation from mobile phones, too much PC screens, too much Wi-Fi. Use this sensitive, get out of the Wi-Fi, turn off the mobile wireless connections, and give yourself a break. It will be very good for you. And especially now, for you who are allergic in the spring, it's a good time to run it often. Kidney oil, it's a fantastic program. I use it regularly because this is one of the programs which my body requires again and again. And by doing it, I ensure that I have a good mineral balance, water balance, that my detoxification system is okay, and I support all my male organs which are connected to the kidneys. And of course, kidneys help build up the electric potential of the body, getting rid of the plus, keeping more of the minus. And can the kidney work and clean body well without good water? No. So you need to keep that in mind. So you want to keep your house clean. You want to wash your car. And in periods, you need clean oil. I heard stories from people running clean oil after serious illness, serious out of balance, I would say, for a period of time, and they didn't have any relapse. They just kind of continued to build up the potential of the body, continued to get even better balance, and they've seen a lot of good results with running this program. So clean all should definitely be a part of your routine, but no, you don't need to do it daily. And specifically, most useful is before the winter and in spring. Digest all. Yeah, well, the name implies it. We want to digest it, what we input physically in the body, but we also want to digest and be able to accept our surroundings and our life. So when you are very worried, if you are worried, you fill up the electric pathways of the digestive system with, let's say, out of sync or no current frequencies, and there can be patterns like sort of trauma in electric fields which are locked, and this will make it very difficult for you to get a normal digestion. And if you treat your digestive system, you treat both the physical side of it, the electrochemical, the electric, and the emotions connected to the digestive system. Breath of life. Yes, breath of life is part of a big cycle. If you think about it, in nature, everything is sort of breathing, expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting. We know that the universe is expanding and probably contracting. And many of us have heard about Jesus, some are Christian. And the interesting thing is that we talk about the Holy Spirit, and in Norwegian we say the Heilige Ande, which means the Holy, yeah, it means the Holy Spirit. But anyway, in Aramaic, which was the native language of Jesus, the word Holy Spirit didn't exist, but the word Holy Breath existed. So many think, me included, that the word Holy Breath is referring to how important the breath function is. When the breath is in normal current mode with the body, slow, deep, preferably through the nose, it balances your whole nervous system and the autonomic nerve system. So if you are having too much stress in your life, the breath is being influenced by the parasympathetic and sympathetic nerve system. If you do some breathing exercises in yogas, they call it pranayama, it will help you a lot. And in the breath and the lung area, you have a type of things, of emotions like sorrow, not being happy to live, and these things. So the electricity, the electric fields of the lungs are influenced by your emotions like all other parts of the system. And of course, the lungs, they get rid of CO2 solids, get rid of acid just like the kidneys, so they are a pair. So you should always treat the pair. If you have a kidney issue, okay, maybe the focus is mostly the kidneys, but from time to time you need a breath of life. Sometimes the kidney struggles because the lungs struggle, so there you see the connection. We're back to the free flow. Some people have circulation issues, lymph issues, they have their heart system is struggling, and it's a good thing to use free flow from time to time, specifically if you have any of these issues. Also, if you have pain, the most important thing is, I think you understand it now, is to have the balance between the lungs and the kidneys to have the electric charge, because if you have low electric charge, you have pain. But you can also support or reduce the feeling of pain by using free flow, because free flow will help oxygenate the tissue, help circulate the tissue, and help the detoxification process, because obviously the lymph system stores toxins, and when that is circulated well, you'll excrete more toxins too. So free flow is a good program, and if you are suddenly having some pain, use the free flow, give it a day or some hours depending on the situation, and you'll see it's going to help you. Pure calm. If you can be calm, you have peace. If you have peace and you're calm, you have parasympathetic activity, meaning that your blood pressure goes down, your breath is slow and normal, meaning that the cells open the DNA and send out proteins and start to repair and build new cells. So it's when you calm and rested, you are building and repairing and fixing. So this should be an important part of your life. We tend to believe, for example, for the people of us who are interested in sports, we tend to believe that if you exercise a lot, you will be in very good shape. But if you exercise a lot, you need a lot of calm. You need a lot of rest. Because in the exercise, you actually break down muscle fibers and you stress your body in a way, in a good way if it's not doing too much. But you need the rest period. You need the calm. And if you like meditation, or if you're not used to it, you can run pure calm in the day, and you'll see later in the day or next morning that it's easier just to sit down and be calm. When you sit down and you are being calm, you automatically are being connected to all the natural processes of your body and the universe. You easily get new ideas, you easily get inspiration for what you're doing, because just by doing nothing, you will do the most. I'm not the first to say this, not the least. So a very good thing is from time to time to run the pure calm, and in some periods, maybe that's the program you run all the time, because you want to implement being calm in your life. Try to find time to sit still for 10 minutes, no sound, no Wi-Fi, no phone, nothing. Just be calm. You can run the program at the same time, or you can run the program at a different time. It will help. It's not the acute medicine. This is not what we're talking about. This is helping balancing your electric fields, which will help balance your emotions, and it helps synchronize and coordinate the activities of the body in a peaceful way. Pure energy. Einstein said all is energy, of course it is. You need energy to perform work. You need energy to support yourself and your surroundings. And when you have done the foundation, the basics, and you still feel that you chronically have too little energy, or you very often run out of energy, all right, spend a period with pure energy programs. I think it's a good idea to combine. If you do, let's say, every second day, some people like to do it every day. Some people like to do programs several times a day, especially the chronic fatigues. But let's say you do a program every day and have a rest in the weekend. I always think it's good to let the body just to implement the stimulation from the programs. You can run pure energy in the morning to support activity, and you run the pure calm in the afternoon or the next day in the afternoon. This way you help the body build up the energy potential, the electric potential, and you help your body being calm, because when you're calm, you actually are building and repairing, and this is the other way of building up energy. So being calm is needed, having some activity is needed, so you need the balance. So these two programs can very well run together, pure energy and pure calm. Renewal. If you have an injury, this is a good program to run. If you've broken something, it will help the body repair quicker. You can use it as an all body application, meaning you hold electrodes in the hands or you have electrode on different parts of the body with a good distance. So it goes through a lot of the waters of the body. Or you can use targeted electrodes on points. So you have a shoulder pain, you can put it here. You feel the pain is there, you put it there, and you put it on the back. So the current has to go through the area. So you can use it also locally for, let's say, symptomatic pain. or symptomatic repair, because the currents going directly to the tissue in an injured area will help increase the voltage and the ion exchange in the tissue and thereby the repair process. And research has shown that with the correct microcurrent stimuli, which you can get from the Healy, which you do get from the Healy. Microcurrents, by the way, are very low intensity, so you mostly don't feel it. So adjust it down if you want to do this repair process. Can stimulate the bone growth and tissue growth by up to 50%. So meaning if the injury was something that would take 6 weeks, you can most likely reduce the time significantly, maybe to 3 weeks. So this is a great function. And this is one of the benefits of using the renewable program globally and locally. Go to the roots. If you have a strong emotional and spiritual foundation, you are grounded, you feel in tune with nature, with the natural cycles around us. You have a very good base to live your life and develop in all your cycles and grow and become a beautiful plant and continue to be a beautiful plant, or being, to be more correct. So go to the roots. It's in a way the end program of the cycle. And normally I would say you need to try to find some body balance using the other programs before you can have the great benefits of go to the roots. But anyway, if you feel there's many emotions you need to deal with, it's complicated for you, have a period of go to the roots. It's a great program. Entry work. Okay, you've done all the programs. You still need energy. You're used to electromagnetism. You're not electrosensitive. Okay, so connect the electrodes. Some people I know, they use good sticky electrodes, professional sticky electrodes. I also supply this through our customers in our store. And you connect it to, let's say, upper part of the spine and lower part of the spine, or maybe upper part of the spine and the lower part of the stomach. If you, for example, have a scar over a stomach, it can be very good. And you start the energy work program in low intensity, and you just run it more or less all day long. Try it for a few days and see how it works. If you are a chronic fatigue person, I think you will find it very interesting. Thank you. I'm so happy I could present all of this to you, and I'm looking forward for all your answers and to hear your user experiences and do more webinars so you can learn more and use the device and treat yourself in the best possible way. Thank you. Have a great day.